Rose
Sure.
lives in Georgia, and for 2 years we've known her on this online prayer meeting, and that she had been dealing with a lot of health issues. And one day I was talking to her and she was asking for prayer because she said her legs, she had really bad circulation in her legs, and she had wounds on her legs and they were all bandaged up and they weren't healing. Am I right, Rose? Am I doing that?
That's right.
And she said, I'll suffer for the Lord and for souls, but I'm just needing some prayer because it's sometimes hard to hang on. And she's like in tears, and she had me in tears. And because they were saying that they might need to amputate her legs. And I said, well, Rose, I need to share something with you. And it's about these patches, and it helps activate your stem cells. So Rose, why don't you tell them what happened then?
Okay, well, while Joan was telling me about the patches, I heard the Holy Spirit in the background going, yes, 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 to accept the idea about the patches. This was like the beginning of February. And around February the 6th, I started the patches. On February the 8th, I had slept an hour longer than I had ever slept and forever.
But
And
let me interrupt. You were only sleeping like 2 hours a night, an hour and a half?
An hour to 2 hours a night.
And it's April 24th now, just to put that in perspective of when you started and where we are.
2023. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 2023. The amazing thing was on February the 14th, for the first time in 2 years I've been having treatment with my legs, it started having new skin to develop. So that was the second major thing, the sleep, and then finally my legs start producing new skin. By February the 21st, my right leg was almost well. The left leg was significantly much better. And then on March the 14th, because I had been on a scooter or a wheelchair for the last several years, and I started standing up and taking a couple of steps, trying to do it without my walker. And then on March the 14th, I was at my doctor's office and I got this brilliant idea to get them to take my walker and let me try to walk, in which I did from the waiting room all the way to the exam room. I was so proud of myself and just could not thank the Lord enough for letting me do that. So since January, I've been on my walker and walking. I've had a lot of shortness of breath, which Joan and everybody can testify that they've heard me having it. Doing these patches, my shortness of breath is almost not at all. My blood sugars are starting to be better. I'm off of my blood pressure medicine now. Also, 6 months ago, I had a large mass in my breast, and today I was told that it was half the size.
Yay.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
And let's see. So now my the sores on my legs are completely well. I don't have any more wraps or Una boots on them. I'm in regular compression stocks. Actually, where my hair was really thinning out and just a mess, it's gotten thicker and getting longer, which I really like.
Rose, so the physicians or the nurse practitioner that you go to see for your legs, what did she think about what she saw happening? How her sores would not heal. And just after about a week and a half, they started to heal, and she had to wear these, bandages on them and everything. So what did your nurse practitioner say?
She said I needed to share with her what I was doing so that she could help other people. So she's supposed to be calling Joan to get more information about it. And by the way, my cardiologist today, I was telling him about it. He was very excited. I ended up sending him a message and telling him to get in touch with Joan, who could tell him more about the patches, because he really wants to know about them.
And why was he so impressed? What was the change in you that he saw?
One is that I have not been having angina, which I was having a lot of, the shortness of breath and everything. And the fact that this was the first time that he had ever seen me in a long time be on a walker. And he just could not get over how well I was doing. He said, I don't get a single high five, I get a double high five.
That's awesome. Then,
You know,
you know, it's like every time I talk to Rose, first it started with her sleep. She went from 1.5 hours to 2 to 3 to 5. She doesn't use her sleep app anymore. She told me today she's throwing away her melatonin. She doesn't need it anymore. She was not walking, hadn't been walking for 2 years. She is now walking with a walker when she's outside and everything, but in the doctor's office with completely without it and able to climb the steps to get into the bus. Then she mentioned the other day, well, we just heard her say that she had a mammogram today and the mass she had 6 months ago is now completely in half the size. She mentioned the other day, oh, and my oncologist, I go, you went to why are you going to an oncologist? I mean, it's like every doctor in the world she has to go see. She's suffered so much. Well, she was having a lot of problems with your iron, right, Rose?
right,
And getting iron infusions.
right.
When did you have your last infusion?
In
December?
January.
In January. And she called me the day she saw her doctor. This was about mid-March. And from January to the time you saw your doctor, weren't you supposed to get more iron infusions?
Right, but he said I was now completely normal.
But you did not. How many infusions did you get between that one in January and when you saw your doctor?
I didn't take any more of them because I just felt like after starting the patches, I wanted to see what the patches would do for me. And it did wonders for me because my iron and my hemoglobin, everything is in the normal range.
Wow.
And all she's been on is the X39. And
Wow. Beautiful.
mhm.
You know, everything that has happened for me is that the prayers, the patches, you know, I have more energy now. I enjoy going to the senior center. I'm going more often than I was going. I just can't believe how much energy I have and how much better I feel.